everyone, Eric, Kilo Zero Echo Alpha Papa, back, I guess, sort of. It's been, I think, 6-ish months since my last video. This COVID thing has kind of turned everything upside down, as we all know. And so I haven't been doing the traditional lunchtime on the air from the park where I go. I've been riding my bike a lot over lunch because I'm teleworking now full time. So, you know, instead of, I don't know, I've just been doing other things, playing radio mostly in the afternoons and that kind of thing. So lunchtime on the air is kind of taking a little bit of a hiatus, I guess. I've been back at it a little bit more lately, but not in the traditional sense. I'm hoping to fire it up again because I did find a park that I'm going to go to close to my house that will be a good spot. But I did want to make a video. I have been getting a lot of emails and direct messages on Twitter to talk about my portable equipment. And I was lucky enough to be on Dennis AD6 DM's really awesome podcast called Hamdom Thoughts, and you know, I discussed it a little bit there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my 3 radios that I have that I take for lunchtime on the air and for portable operation, and I'm going to go over them. I'm not going to get into how to use them because there's a million videos out there on how to do that, and we don't need another one of those. So I'm going to go talk about what I own for portable operation, and then, you know, what I like, what I don't like, pros and cons, that kind of thing, in my opinion. So I'm going to start out, and then I'm going to go over my batteries and my portable CW keys and the radios themselves, and then some kind of extras. I'm thinking about doing an antenna video, but that I'm sure is going to be a whole thing. So I'll probably do that at a later date. We'll see how this goes first. So my first radio is that I'm going to talk about is the beloved Mountain Topper 3B. And this is the LCD display, which is the newer one. It's amazing. I think I've talked about this before on Twitter. I freaking love it. It's just a unbelievable radio for, when you consider how freaking small it is. I mean, it's, less than the palm of my hand, and I don't have very big hands. Good on 20, 30, and 40 meters. Again, you switch these, that's 20 meters. The middle one is 30 meters, and then the number 3 is 40 meters. So you just have those switches lined up. Headphone jack, paddle jack, power supply jack, and then a BNC connector for the antenna. I mean, what can you say? It's, for how small it is, it's unbelievable. I've measured it, put out for me, I've gotten 3 to 5 watts. Usually it's 4-ish. If I use my Biano battery, which I'll talk about in a minute. Unbelievable. If you're looking for a CW only rig that you can literally put in your shirt pocket, this is it. I can't think of any cons, really. I think the only thing that I'll say about it that is probably a thing that I guess I would maybe change is the ability you cannot change the volume. So when you have headphones in, the volume is what it is. So, I've been scanning the bands, and all of a sudden there'll be a super strong station and it's just super loud, in my ears or whatever. And, that's probably the only complaint that I have with the radio itself, is that you can't change the volume. but that is so minor that, you know, everything else outweighs it completely. All the positives, pros, I mean, everything. The receive is amazing. You know, I can only go by what I get back for RSTs. You know, I get good signal reports. You know, you have to take that with a grain of salt, but yeah, it's amazing. I'd say probably maybe the only other con is that it's CW only, I guess. So, you know, if you're looking for a tiny radio like this that does other things, this obviously isn't that. So for me, that, you know, a CW only rig is not a con, since I primarily do CW, but it's incredible. So highly recommended. So the next radio is its big brother. This is the Mountain Topper 5B. This will do 15, 17, 20, 30, and 40 meters. It's basically identical to its little brother, the 3B, with the addition of those two other bands. BNC antenna adapter, paddle adapter, or paddle jack, headphone jack, and then again the power supply cable, which it comes with the power supply cable, and that's nice, and as does the 3B. Again, it's a switch situation. You just line up the switches. Again, there's a million videos, so I'm not going to go into that. You know, it's a little bit bigger than this one, you know, not a lot, than the 3B, so it's, you know, a touch bigger. But if you want those extra two bands, 15, 17, you know, I don't remember how much more it was, maybe $100. It's amazing. I've made contacts on all bands using it. Again, I get 3 to 5 watts, usually 4-ish again. Again, the only con, CW only, and, you know, no ability to do volume control. I've read that people have bought headphones with volume control. I haven't, because I just use earbuds, and they're pretty basic earbuds. But again, I haven't had any issues. But it is, again, amazing. If you want the extra 2 bands, highly recommend it. As along with the three bander. LNR Precision, I know there's a lot of history with this radio, and I'm not going to claim to be an expert at what that is, but these things are unbelievable. If you're a CW enthusiast, or you're a backpacker, or you like to travel, soda stuff, obviously, parks on the air stuff, you know, portable operation where you just want something small. These are them. They're incredible. So that's the 5B. Again, not that much bigger, a little bit. If you don't care about 15 or 17 meters, 3B is a unbelievable choice. But this thing is really fun too. So now the kind of the king of them all for me, in my opinion, is the KX3. This thing is, I mean, it is, in my opinion, the perfect portable radio. It's big, it's heavy, but it does everything. Voice, digital, you know, CW, everything. It'll, with the latest firmware, it'll run up to 15 watts on, I think, all bands. But one or two, it'll only run 13 watts, I think, which is kind of weird. If anybody knows why, I would love to hear that. Please put that in the comments. Again, I'm not going to obviously show you how this works. Again, there's a million videos on how to use this. BNC, you know, for the antenna, which is nice, because if you have, you know, that adapter to a normal RS-232, I think it is, or PLU 259, I don't know. So that just shows how dumb I am when it comes to ham radio stuff. You know, you can move the adapter between them if you don't have a BNC feed line, which I do, but, you know, some people don't, but you don't obviously need one. It's a perfect radio, I think. I've made a ton of contacts with it, voice, digital, CW, a ton. There's you know, I think I have a video of me using it in, you know, in an earlier Lunchtime on the Air video. You know, it's great. The one thing that I'm really getting into right now is RIDI. Somebody that's, that it's been, RIDI's been around forever, like what, 60 years or something like that. And I'm literally just getting into it. You can do RIDI using your CW paddles, and it will, it will decode and encode, without any external software. And it does do a true FSK signal, which is amazing. And it's really fun. You don't need a computer. You can do it all from here, but you do have to send it all with a CW paddle, which makes it really interesting. But again, it's expensive, if you get the internal tuner. And I think there's a couple of filters that you can add. I think you're right around $1,000, right around there. If it's 300 or whatever, 299 or 300, whatever this is, compared to this, I don't know. If you want a CW only rig, obviously this is the best choice, the mountain toppers. But if you want to do everything rig, the KX3 is the way to go. I've used the KX2, which is a little smaller. It's probably, maybe this size cut off maybe a couple inches. I'm not 100% sure. I like the KX3 better. I find the menu system on the KX2 a little kludgy and harder to use, where I think the KX3 menu system is just a little bit better to use. But, that's personal opinion. The KX2 is unbelievable. I had my buddy Nate, KE0MNH, bought one at Hamvention when we were together. He's a silent key now, sadly. But I used it a couple times and it was super cool, but I found it kludgy to use, the KX2 as opposed to the KX3. But they're awesome choices, both of them. Okay, so that should do it for the radios. Let's go into my portable keys, which I have probably a ridiculous amount of. The first one I'm going to talk about quick is the Teeny Key. This one is pretty sweet. It is metal, solid metal, with these little brass paddles, I guess, on the side. You see these all over. I know Steve WG0AT builds these keys, kind of the Teeny Key with the little brass thing on the side, and he adds it to elk bone and all sorts of cool stuff. Teeny Key is bomb proof. It is tiny. It's this big. Awesome for traveling. Comes with the cable. Little 3-inch, 3.5 millimeter jack or cable, plugs right in. There's your setup right there. Takes a little getting used to the hitting the brass things. You can adjust. I don't know if you can see that, but right there's a little like a little U clip. It looks like a little brass staple. You can move that, to get it closer or further away. So you have to hit it harder. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with this key. I've been using it more lately. It works great, but it does take a little getting used to the feel of it. I think they're $40. I'll look on the internet and I'll post a link below to where you get them. They're very cool, easy to build, but I'm not that skilled to build this, even though it's like 2 wires, but whatever. Highly recommend a Teeny Key for travel. The next two I will say are probably, in my opinion, some of the most iconic travel keys or portable keys, and they are the Palm Radio keys. I was lucky enough to get 2 of them before they went out of business. I have the regular one. I can't remember the name of this. If it's just, the travel one. Well, let me see if I have the name here. I don't, but it's, it's that big. It's unfortunately Palm Radio is out of business. Again, comes with the cable. they're freaking bomb-proof. Amazing little keys. You know, it folds up. You push this button here and push it out, and you know, you send your code, your DX, obviously, your soda contact, and you know, you give everybody a $5.99 and you go with it. Amazing key. You know, push this in, travel. It's, I think, yeah, this is metal, so it's really, really well protected. Love this key. I'm scared to death to use it because I don't want it to break. When I did hear that they were going out of business, I went out to their website to try to buy parts and they were gone, unfortunately. So I don't use it as much as I'd like to, just because, like I said, I'm scared to use it because I don't want it to break. The next one is the Palm Radio Pico paddle. This thing is crazy small. You know, that's it. I mean, it's smaller than the teeny key by, you know, a ½ inch or so. And again, it's amazing. You push it in, it goes into its own little housing there, and you know, you push it back out, and then you connect the cable. It does have a custom cable, you know, there. And then, you know, this connects again into your radio, like so, you know, so that's all there is to that. It's tiny. This one is funky to me because it is so small. I've used it a lot. I've had mixed success with it, but it's just me. I have a hard time using it because it's so small. It's really weird to get used to those tiny little paddles. But again, it's unbelievable. And I was so bummed when they went out of business, you know, just for whatever reason that we can't get them anymore, because they are amazing. So those are the two Palm Radio keys that I have. So the what is that? Four deep. This one here is probably what I use the most on Lunchtime on the Air. This was built by Larry N0SA, and if you go out to his QRZ page, you can see some of the keys that he builds. He builds single lever paddles. I think he builds straight keys, and then he builds these as well. If you're interested, send him an email, and he will send you a little catalog, and you send him a PayPal, and he'll build you one if he doesn't have them in stock, and then he'll mail it to you. These are unbelievable. They're magnetic return. They're hand machined. The soldering is crazy. There's a little window so you can see it, how beautiful it is for how small it is. The cable is built in, 3.5 inch jack, so it works wonderfully with any of my 3 radios here. I think it was $100. It's pricey, I guess, but it is unbelievable, the quality. It's beautiful and it works. It's completely adjustable. You can move these little screws in, and that's where the magnets are, you know, so they rebound each other, repel each other. I highly recommend it. I think I saw Steve, again, WG0AT, with one of these, and I emailed him and I asked him where he got it, because it looked so cool. He sent me Larry's name. I emailed him, and like 2 weeks later I had one. It's worth the money, in my opinion. It's a wonderful little paddle, and it's super cool. Highly recommend it. Lastly, is the Elecraft paddle for the KX2. I did buy this because I liked this one better than the one that they bill for the KX3. It screws right into the front here of the radio, so once you get it screwed in, that essentially is your CW rig all-in-one, RIDI rig, PSK 31, you know, whatever it is. You just send your code just like that, you know, and you can hold this in your lap or whatever. And it's just a really good little compact rig, considering, you know, even how big the KX3 is. You don't need to, you know, have a lot of extra. I know Stuart KB1HQS did a video recently of problems that he's had, and the KX3 Elecraft paddle was on that list. I will say that I had some issues with the very first one where this little plastic piece right here had a crack in it, which I thought was very strange. I take really good care of my stuff, and when I store it in this padded little sack here, and I fold it up and keep it in this Pelican case here. So it's probably overly protected, but it did crack, which I thought was very strange. I took photos of it, sent it to Elecraft, and they sent me a brand new one. So I didn't have the negative experience that Stuart had, which is good. So I've used this thing a ton. It works great. I like it. I like this one better than the KX3 style. I think these little paddles are a little nicer. Again, fully adjustable. It's a wonderful key. It's expensive. It's probably, I think it was $159. I got it at Hamvention. I don't know. I've had great luck with it, so therefore I think it's worth it. But I don't know. If you're gonna, I think the teeny key's $40. This is $150. This is probably gonna outlast this. So, it's just kind of up to you. I do like the ability to just tack that right onto the KX3 and have it sit in my lap and not have a bunch of cables. So I do think that's an advantage that this has. It's wonderful. I recommend it. Lastly, I'll talk about my batteries really quick. I am a Bieno power guy. I love them. This is the 9 volt 6 amp hour battery. I use this for my mountain toppers. It doesn't weigh anything. I'm not exactly sure how much it weighs, but it's really light. You throw it in a backpack with this and a feed line or whatever, or a wire if you have a direct connect on that with the BNC and the banana jacks and antenna connector. And I mean, that's it. That's your station. I know that there's quite a few people that talk about how small they can get their stations. This battery is bomb proof, and it's a wonderful battery used with the mountain toppers. When I was doing lunchtime on the air every day, an hour a day, I charged it maybe once every couple of months. And granted, they don't use a lot of power, but still, it's pretty amazing. They hold their charge really well. They charge pretty quick. They're expensive, but I think they're worth the money. I've had great luck with them. So I highly recommend Bieno. And if you get on their website, and I think on their Facebook page, every once in a while they do have a sale, maybe 20% off, good time to buy them. I, again, love these batteries. For the KX3, I use the 12 volt 6 amp, just a little beefier battery. Again, it doesn't weigh anything. It's definitely less than a pound, probably. I'll look it up and hopefully I can find. I think they have information on their website about how much they weigh. Again, it powers the KX3. I adjusted. They come built in with power poles. This one does. Well, they both do. So that's really nice. So you don't have to do that. I bought this one at Hamvention. It was on sale. And then I bought that one another year at Hamvention, so I got them both for, I think it was 20% off or whatever the Hamvention deal was. Can't recommend Bieno batteries enough. I know some of you guys build your own batteries, but if you're not that mechanically inclined like me, highly recommend those Bienos. I think they're great. The last thing I'll talk about, which I think is kind of cool, is I have a buddy named Mika, and he has a 3D printer, and I found this case for the 3B out online, and I had him adjust it, and he moved these little clips over, and then he added this little sidewall And then I put a piece of 3M sticky tape on there. And so I can put, I can attach my Pico paddle. And then if I put this in there like so, connect the, let me just do this quick. Connect the paddle like that, you know, and then I've got a pretty cool little setup. I'll get the link to, I think it's out on Thingiverse. I'm not a 3D printer guy, but he created this for me. And if you go look, there's a picture of it with my leg in the picture, which is kind of funny. But this thing is amazing. I mean, you could obviously use other kinds of paddles to attach to it as well. I know Larry's paddle, you could put, you know, I don't know how that would, you know, work. It'd be a little awkward, but, you know, lots of options there. So really cool. I'll put the link down in the description. And if you want to print this out for a 3B, you can. There's another one that doesn't have this little wall on it. That's just a tray for the 3B. You know, you could use that as well. It's great, but I do like, you know, this little side thing for the Pico paddle. So, yeah, so that's my portable setup, or my portable radios anyway, and my portable keys. I've had great luck with all of them. I love them all equally. They're like my children. I would say probably my favorite radio of them all is the 3B, just because it's unbelievable. It's so small. It works so well. I've worked Hawaii from Minnesota on you know, 3-ish watts with it, and I got a 5.7 signal report back on 30 meters. And the guy that I contacted, A6HV, is pretty notorious for giving a legit signal report even when he's got a pileup. So I felt pretty confident with that. Granted, I had a good opening on 30 meters to Hawaii, but that's still pretty amazing on 3.5 to 4 watts. Yeah, so I would say if you're gonna buy a QRP radio, if you're a CW enthusiast, this is the one that I would pick. And not that it's better than the other ones. It's just, it's super cool. If you have questions, please feel free, reach out. Follow me on Twitter at Kilo Delta Zero Fox Zulu Tango, which is my old call sign, but you'll see a picture of me with K0EAP in the photo or in the little description. I am very active on Twitter. I interact with a lot of followers on a daily basis. We have a lot of fun. You know, I spot, whenever I make a contact, I always try to spot stuff, Soda, Parks, DX, interesting stations. I usually will post something when I call CQ. I like to work my friends, you know, my Twitter followers and that kind of thing. Again, I thank you for watching, and I hope you found this beneficial. Again, I don't want to go into the how do you use it, because there's a million videos for that, and you know, what am I going to say that somebody else hasn't already? But that's the lineup, and it's a lot of fun. Get out, work, take a radio. You know, I know things are weird right now. You know, it's kind of still, and people are working from home, or you know, whatever. But I'm a huge, take a radio, go work over lunch, get away from the office if you can, or you know, if you're a home shack guy, you know, buy a portable radio and a good portable antenna, and go sit at a park or go somewhere and get out of the shack and you know, have some fun outdoors and see what you can do with just a few watts. It's pretty amazing. So leave a comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. You know, let me know what you want to see. You know, I've made some videos of me chasing, and you know, that's only going to go so far, and I get that. But you know, I'll do another one here on my portable antennas, probably next week or in a week or two. I'll fish all them out and kind of talk about them a little bit, and then we'll go from there. So it's Eric, K0EAP, and I'll say 73, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it.